and we all want to continue to grow and to develop. Part of the premise of our work together is that we can outgrow our personalities. One way we can outgrow the parts of our personality that aren't of benefit for ourselves and for those people around us. Sometimes the people around us suffer more from our personalities than we do. We might start out by taking a look at personality. There is a tendency in our culture to identify with our personality as though our personality were who we are. And because personality has become our identity, there's a tendency to perpetuate our personality, whether it's useful or not. The idea that personality can be outgrown and that we can develop beyond that can be a refreshing idea. Personality. Personality is a practiced pattern of perception, a practiced pattern of thinking, a practiced pattern of action. So it's practiced pattern, as opposed to entity, as opposed to a thing. So if we think of our personality as practiced pattern of interpretation, practiced pattern of thinking, perceiving, and acting. And since it's practiced pattern, we can practice new ways. And we all get very good at whatever it is we're practicing. And we're always practicing something. So it behooves us to pay attention to what it is we're practicing. Personality, I think part of it is, I think we're born with certain temperament, certain tempo. And if we've taken a look at newborn babies and we've had some contact with several of them, we realize that some are more energetic and some are slower and more quiet. So I think that there is an innate temperament. It does seem as though that we're born awareness. That awareness is intrinsic to being. And what we are aware of, how we label things, how we interpret things, how we construe things, is taught. The culture teaches us how to perceive things, how to label things, and the language that we're born into teaches us how to think. But in terms of personality styles, we have a premise that we have a self that's separate from all that is. A self that is an entity that is separate from the rest of the universe. Now that's an interesting idea, isn't it? That there could be something that's separate from all that is. But we live with that assumption, and we have that guide our principles and our actions and our behaviors, and then we wonder why things aren't going as well as we'd like them. It's a natural consequence of unexamined assumptions. But so we have this, we've been taught that we are an entity that is separate from. And then we have a dilemma. If we're separate from all that is, then how do we protect ourselves from such a vast universe? How do we protect and maintain our separate sense of separateness? And to make things even more complicated, how do we express ourselves? Now there's a dilemma. How do we hide? And how do we express? Now all of this is a natural consequence of believing that we have a self that's separate from all that is, that has to worry about how to do that. But the personality seems to be a pattern that is designed to be protective. to insulate, isolate, and designed to manifest and express. Then the personality becomes identity. Anything that becomes our identity would become prisoners of our identities. If our personality are practiced patterns of protection, then our personalities become yesterday's defenses, and it's maintained because it used to work. The way we've been thinking, acting, perceiving, and organizing worked, and so we continue. And to some degree, it does work, and to some degree, it doesn't. Because once we have a separate sense of self, and we have a separate sense of our own life, then of course we have an opinion about how our life should be, because it's our life. And anything that's our life, we should have some say-so about. And it should be the way we want it to be, don't you think? It's your life.